Dito pala natin makikita yung mga biological macromolecules. Ayan. Sa Notifax. Ito. Sa mga Notifax makikita po natin. Ayan, sa mga nutrition facts. Diyan po natin makikita yung macromolecules. Good day everyone! Welcome to Sir Fox Learning Channel. For today's video, pag-aaralan po natin ang biological macromolecules. At kung ikaw ay grade 11 distance learners and taking up physical science, or may relative ka na grade 11 or taking up physical science, ang video ito ay makakatulong po sa inyo. At kung bago ka sa channel na ito, huwag mong kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell on para updated ka sa mga susunod ko pong video. So, paano nga ba natin makikita yung mga macromolecules sa pagkain na kinakain po natin? Alamin po natin yan dito sa video ito. Tara, samahan nyo pa akong panuorin. Our topic is all about biological macromolecules for week 4, and our learning target for this video is to distinguish between carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Another task or target for this video is to summarize the general characteristics of each biomolecule and to relate the structures of the biomolecules with their properties. Okay? What is biological macromolecules? Is it organic or macromolecules? From the word macro means big. Macro means big. So, is this organic? And if it is organic, what is an organic molecule? Probably, when we say organic molecule, it is a compound made of hydrocarbons or carbon and hydrogen atoms. Living or once living, in other words, a living thing is an organic. A living organism is an organic. Okay? However, carbon is a gas. Macromolecules have 4 classes. There are 4 classes of biological macromolecules we will be looking at. So what are these? On the screen you have the proteins, lipids, carbohydrates, and nucleic acid. So we have 4, take note for that, macromolecules or biological macromolecules. Yung pala yun. Malalaman po natin yan. Ano ba yung panikinabang natin dyan? Ano ba yung mapapala natin dyan kung aralin ko tong macromolecules? Paano ko ba mai-relate yung pang-araw-araw ko na ginagawa dito sa lesson na to? Later on, alamin po natin yan. Okay? But what exactly is a macromolecule? Since taken from the word macro, meaning to say it is a very, very large molecule. A biological macromolecule are organic, meaning to say they all contain hydrocarbons or carbon atoms with attached hydrogens, and other elements may include oxygen, nitrogen, phosphorus, and sulfur. In other words, probably we're looking for polymers. Ibig sabihin ng poly means many. Itong mga polymers naman, ito ay made up of single united called monomers. Pag sinabi naman po nating monomers, from the word mono, it means one. So, a polymer is made up of many monomers. So, let us have these polymer analogies. Example polymer is ladder and string of pearls necklace. So ano yung monomer? Kung ang polymer is made up of many monomer, ano yung monomer dito sa example po natin? Ladder and string of pearls necklace. So, kung meron kang polymer na ladder, yung bawat strand o yung bawat apakan niya is the monomer. Necklace, it's pearl. Parts of that necklace is a monomer. Isn't it? Now, can you think of a polymer and what monomers make it up? Then, if you have think a polymer, write down it on the comment section of this video. And then write down also what monomers make it up. Okay? All four can be found in food. Yung lahat ng macromolecules ay pwede palang makita sa pagkain. So, ibig sabihin, it is very significant for us to know what is this macromolecules. Why is it significant for us to study? So first, makikita po natin yan sa pagkain. Oh, talaga. Think about it. Paano kaya? Paano kaya? Ayan. Pag bumibili ba kayo ng mga products, nakikita nyo ba yung mga nutrition facts sa likod ng product na binili ninyo? Okay. Sige, pumunta ka sa lagayan ninyo ng mga food, mga product or food na binili. Check it out yung mga nutrition facts doon sa product kung ano man yan. Kung meron ka ng hawak, again, comment down it on the comment sections of this video kung anong food yung nakuha mo dyan sa inyo and pakilagay yung mga macromolecules na makikita mo dyan sa nutrition fact. Nakita mo na? Let's say, or let us have this example of nutrition fact of a certain product. Makikita mo dyan yung label to the left of the four macromolecules which are labeled. You have there yung 3 of the 4. Ano ba yung 3 of the 4? One is the fats. Ito, 0 grams in this product. Ito is the fat. Yung una. Ano kayong pangalawa? Pangalawa is carbohydrates. Ilang grams ang carbohydrates? 13 grams. At ang protein 9 grams. Yan pala yung mga macromolecules. At kasama yan sa mga tinitake po natin every time na kumakain tayo ng mga produkto. At makikita po natin yung mga facts na yan, yung mga nutrition facts na yan, yung mga nakalagay na macromolecules, makikita po natin yan sa likod ng product. Okay? On to our first biomolecule is carbohydrates. Ano ba yung carbohydrates? Siguro may idea na kayo dahil I think ang una nyo maiisip pag sinabong carbohydrates, bread, rice, lalo na yung mga nagpapasexy dyan, ayaw nila mag-carbs, gusto nila ng protein, di ba? Ayaw ko mag-carbs, tumataba na kasi yung tiyan ko tumataba na kasi ako So, carbohydrates, usually yun common na maiisip po natin. Simple carbohydrates, they are main source of energy for the body. Pag sinabi po nating carbohydrates, just simply sugar or monosaccharide or glucose. For example, yeast in IS monomer is the main product of photosynthesis. Okay? So, pag sinabi po natin carbohydrates, it means the source of energy, which simply the sugar na nakukuha po natin sa mga pagkain na tinitake po natin every day. May tinatawag po tayong complex carbohydrates, a long-term storage for energy, or a polysaccharides, which is made up of glucose or glucose polymers, in which below is a part of the polymer starch. So ito po yung chemical formula of a polymer starch. Dahil hindi naman kayo mga STEM, don't you worry, hindi na natin i-deepen pa yan dahil hindi naman kayo mga STEM student. Okay? Ano lang sa mga academics, ang kailangan lang po natin is at least we have that idea. Yung pala yung macromolecules. Yung pala yung biological macromolecules. Starch, which is found in grain, wheat, rice, corn, oats, barley, tubers such as potatoes, are rich in starch. So kasama din po yan sa mga napagkukuhanan po natin ng carbohydrates, yung starch. Ayan. Mayroon palang carbohydrates din yung mga ito. A cellulose, which is also a glucose, pag sinabi natin glucose, ibig sabihin, form of sugar, glucose polymer again, offers the plant support and energy storage, which makes up cell wall, a food source for seeds and plant bulbs. So sa plant, ang kanilang means of carbohydrates is the glucose polymers, sabi nga dyan, which offers plant support, kung saan ito yung nagiging energy storage ng plant for that plant grows and makes up a cell wall for food source for the seed and plant bulbs. Glycogen in animals, a branch of polymer made up of numerous glucose or glucose monomers. Long-term energy storage found in the liver and quickly broken down into glucose for immediate energy. So this is a glycogen in animals, how it works and how it looks like. Complex carbs and energy, such as starch, cellulose, and glycogen, are broken down by proteins called enzymes. Remember digestion in lysosomes, which is has to do with it. The broken down into their monomers, the glucose is broken down into monomers and is further broken down during cellular respiration in the mitochondria for energy. About 36 ATP molecules of energy per each glucose molecule. So once na nagkaroon po ng respiration, doon nagkakaroon ng breaking down or breaking up of uh, protein called enzyme. Doon nagbe-breakdown into monomers. And then sabi nga dyan, itong nagaganap ito doon sa mitochondria for energy. At about 36 molecules of energy per each glucose. Per each glucose of molecule. So isang molecule ang nai-store niya, na produce. So that is carbohydrates. However, lipids as one of the biological macromolecule, ayan po yung kanyang chemical formula. Ang ginagawa naman ni lipids, una stored energy, broken down for energy. They insulate the body to help maintain normal body temperature, and they cushion within the internal organs for protection, includes waxes and oils. Also include steroids such as cholesterol and the sex hormones estrogen and testosterone. Anabolic steroids build muscle. They the lipids also waterproof surfaces of animals, plants, and foods, and these are waxes. Think waterproof, insulate, steroids, energy, cushion. So ito po yung ginagawa ni lipids. Can you still remember the cell membrane? The phospholipid bilayer of the cell membrane, the fatty acid tails are lipids. It's semi-permeable, allowing only certain molecules to diffuse across the membrane to enter or exit cell. So look at this illustration here below. The fatty acid tails are lipids. It's semi-permeable, allowing only certain molecules to diffuse across the membrane to enter or exit the cell. So, saan ba natin makikita yung mga lipids? Oh, oils, margarine, pampatangkad, butter, magandang palaman pag umaga, pag may pandesal. Yun pala yun. Fat, which is made up of fatty acid monomers, glycerides that have a glycerol backbone, circled, and fatty acid tails. So, yan po yung kanyang chemical formula. Glycerol group with 3 fatty acid chains. So ito po yan. This is a triglyceride molecule. Ito po yung triglyceride molecule. The picture illustrated below. Now, onto proteins. Ano naman yung proteins? So, tapos na tayo sa carbohydrates, lipids. Let's talk about proteins. Ano naman yung ginagawa ng protein? They are the major structural molecules in living things for growth and repair. Muscles, ligaments, tendons, bones, hair, skin, nails. In fact, all cell membranes have protein in them. They make up antibodies in the immune system. They make up enzymes for helping chemical reactions. So ito yung ginagawa ni proteins. Proteins make up non-steroid hormones which, so ito yung ginagawa ni protein. Membranes, enzymes, antibodies, non-steroid hormones, structural molecules. Okay? Made up of mostly carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and some sulfur. Yung proteins. Ayan. Sa mga nagbabody-building, usually yan po yung kanilang mga ginakain lang. Yung nagpapa-sexy. Yan po yung usual na kinakain nila para hindi sila magkaroon ng fats. Less carbs. More proteins daw, sabi po ng mga bodybuilders. Aside from protein found in animal sources, protein can also be found in fruits, vegetables, grains, and nuts. It is just does not have as many amino acids. So, lalo na ngayon, back to ECQ again. Hindi ka pwedeng makalabas ng basta-basta sa bahay, do kung ikaw ay masunurin, pero pag matigas ang ulo mo, labas ka ng labas. So, itong mga pagkain na to, makakatulong sa iyo yan para hindi lumaki yung taba mo. Hindi mag-grow yung mga fats mo. Ito mga proteins. So, nalaman ko lang din po yan sa mga bodybuilders. Hair, skin, and nails. Ito po yung microscope view of skin and nails. So, ito po yung skin. Yan po yung microscopic view of skin. Ito naman yung nails. Ganyan pala yung balat natin. Ito yung ko. Remember protein synthesis sa grade 9, if I'm not mistaken. Transcription and translation. Have you remember that during your grade 9? A peptide bonds amino acid together, which creates a polypeptide. Okay? As shown on the picture below. These are amino acids. The picture illustrations refers to the amino acid. The shapes of proteins, which determines its functions. Ito po yan. The ribosome are proteins also that are involved in creating proteins. So ribosome are proteins which involves in creating another protein. So ito po yung ribosome. Ito yung amino acid chain. mRNA, etc. The insulin, a chemical signaler protein produced in the pancreas. which cause cell in the liver, muscle, and fat tissue to take up glucose from blood and convert it to glycogen that can be stored in the liver and muscle. Kaya ngayon may mga diabetic. Diabetes is a condition when a person has high blood glucose or blood sugar, mataas yung kanyang blood sugar, either because insulin production is inadequate or because the body cells do not respond properly to insulin or both. So kaya ang ginagawa, nagdadagdag sila ng insulin. Yung mga diabetic, kapag mataas yung kanilang blood pressure, take note, yung insulin ang ginagawa niya is, sabi dito, signaler protein produced in the pancreas cause cell in the liver, muscle, and fat tissue to take up glucose from blood. Tinatanggalan niya ng glucose yung blood and convert it into glycogen. Kasi, ang blood, natutunan ko lang din dito sa biology, ang blood, kapag mataas yung kanyang mataas yung kanyang fat, yung kanyang carbohydrates, yung kanyang sugar rather, tendency lumalapot. So, pag lumalapot yan, nahihirapan mag-flow. Parang mud, di ba? Yung mud, mahirap mag-flow yung mud. So, nagiging ganon. Kaya kailangan niya ng insulin. Tinatanggal niya yung glucose sa blood para maging, in a way, maging smooth yung flow niya sa mga veins po natin. Okay? Hemoglobin, a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen. So yung hemoglobin, yun naman, yung nagki-carry ng oxygen sa katawan po natin. A protein in red blood cell. Ayan po yung hemoglobin. Hemoglobin. Antibodies are part of the immune system. Itong mga antibodies. Importante po yan ngayon sa panahon ngayon na may pandemic, na mayroong COVID sa paligid po natin because pag hindi malakas yung ating mga antibodies, yung ating immune system, mabilis po tayong mahawaan ng sakit. Okay? Kaya importante po yan. So, antibodies are part of the immune system. When something enters the body that isn't supposed to be there, like certain bacteria, like COVID-19, antibodies find the invader and stick themselves onto it. White blood cells destroy the invaders. Hopefully, will destroy. Kaya nga dapat malakas yung immune system po natin. I have watched yung significance ng water. Kapag sinisipon ka daw, ay actually, yung sipon, kaya lumalabas yun kasi pinupush pala yun ni antibodies. Yung lumalabas sa ilong mo, pinupush pala yun ni antibodies. Yun yung mga yun yung mga bacteria, bad bacteria na hindi dapat nandun sa system natin na pinupush out ni antibodies. Kaya ang tendency lumalabas. Napanood ko lang din. Hindi ako biologist. I am a physicist. I am not also a chemist. Enzymes. Let's talk about enzymes. Enzymes speed up the rate of chemical reaction by lowering the energy needed to begin the reaction. So ito po yun. The illustration below shows how. Molecular specific like a lock and key, which is an example of that only acts and will break. So that's how enzymes works. Yung mga enzyme serves as a catalyst. by lowering energy needed to begin the reaction. Ito naman yung enzyme lock and key model. The substrate and product. This is the substrate and this is the product. Mhm. Another illustration of enzymes to its specific functions like a lock and key model. The first illustration here shows lactase breaks down lactose sugar. The second, a pepsin breaks down proteins. And the third one is the amylase breaks down amylose. Now, which substrate can be reduced by enzyme? Mhm. So you have here a specific enzyme, active site, and you have the starch, and then protein and lipids. So ang tanong, which substrate can be reduced by the enzyme? Remember that enzymes are substrate specific. So ibig sabihin, ano yung mare-reduce ni enzyme? Si protein and lipid. Si starch will fit in. Ayan. Ayan. Simple, usable sugar product. Enzymes are affected by temperature. The enzyme functions in an environment that has a pH of about 4, which is acidic. So, ayan po yung enzyme rate. Itong graph na yan. And the fourth type of biological or biochemical macromolecule is the nucleic acids. There are types of nucleic acids, the DNA and RNA. DNA or deoxyribonucleic acid and RNA or ribonucleic acid. Monomers are called nucleotides. The DNA, which make up your gene. The DNA makes up your gene. However, the RNA works with the DNA to create proteins. So yung DNA, ang ginagawa niya is genetic. Ang RNA, ang work niya is to create proteins. Si DNA, to create gene. Si RNA, proteins. So, ayan po. mRNA, tRNA, and RNA. I will not go deeper in that. The difference of RNA and DNA, single, double, just watch it. How it works. And I think you have done this during your grade 9. Nag-model pa kayo dyan. Gumawa pa kayo ng model sa isa sa mga activity. Remember how DNA and RNA molecules are involved in protein synthesis, the transcription and translation. Ayan po yan. Showing below. Of course, before we end, let's have these definitions of terms. The monosaccharide, the simplest form of carbohydrates. The monomer, a molecule that can react with other molecules to form very large molecules. Peptide, a short chain of amino acid monomer linked by peptide bonds. Hormones, a special chemical messengers that are created by the endocrine gland. And amino acids and organic compounds that combine to form protein. And then enzymes, proteins which make the biochemical reaction occurs in faster rate. A nucleotide composed of three components: nitrogen, sugar, and phosphate group. Okay? So much for that. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this could help sa ating mga distance learners for physical science week 4, and happy learning everyone. Isa na namang napakahalagang lesson ang na-discuss po natin. Hindi lang para matuto kayo, kundi significant sa ating pang-araw-araw na ginagawa dahil yung macromolecules ay makikita pala natin sa mga pagkain na itinitake natin. So, marami pong salamat sa panunood. Sana po ay nakatulong po ito sa inyo to identify those macromolecules na ini-intake ninyo everyday. Thank you for watching, at kung bago ka sa channel na ito, huwag mong kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-hit ang notification bell. Marami pong salamat sa panunood. Happy learning, everyone! Thank you.